back to same six bands. I think INTZ actually won the draft last time. And I'm actually, despite the win, looking at Pain to switch things up.
Well, they finally banned the Olaf due Pain Gaming, so that makes things a little bit more difficult. But Yampy very comfortable on the Sejuani as well. Maokai not even taken off the board, just opting for something a little bit different. So I think they want to go a little more stock standard here, not opting for a Shadow Flame, you know, Maokai. I'm still kind of in shambles about that.
Yeah, they did open up the Sejuani, though, with that Olaf ban, and right away you can see INTZ have rushed it. I do think Sejuani is really strong, and one thing that has defined a lot of this game so far has been the ability for teams, notably Pain, to look for Engage. And now INTZ have Engage on their side. I think you can, kind of as what Root mentioned, go traditional AD carry, just go straight team fight at this point. You've got a great front line. That's not a team fight pick. 4x4, hold me, I'm scared.
It will be Nosferus on the Jace again, but the Ziggs was banned in round 4. Okay, so you've got push, you've got poke, you've got presence in lane here, and you've got mixed damage types. The Ziggs comes in for Nosferus. Or rather,
that's perfect.
For Ninja Kiwi, maybe. Yeah.
Yeah, more likely for Ninja Kiwi. We've seen him play it before, and into a Xayah as well. It's not a bad pick by any means. You outrange the Xayah, which is one of her biggest weaknesses. So INTZ already in the first 3 picks. I absolutely love it. The question remains, as always in CBLOL 4x4, can a team actually execute the poke comp properly? The closest we got was yesterday, Fluxu pulling it off.
Yeah, and even by himself, Nosferus was doing a lot last game. Ari will be the answer here. Dinketo, a champion that, I mean, Dinketo trying to capitalize on what was a monstrous, a legendary Azir performance last game. Just a couple super clutch moments by this man right here. Dinketo from Brazil. Remember his name. Vi taken away, as well as the Alistar Nia. Not going to be on that either. So yeah, you've got the poke comp, you've got a couple different damage types here. Yampy very comfortable on this Sejuani, going a little more stock standard. Meanwhile, the bottom lane has been run back here. Or, well, not the bottom lane, but I should say just the Rel Xayah pairing in any form.
Yeah, and it don't fix what it broke. B-Voice just looked incredible on this Xayah. Rumble ban actually coming out from Pain here. I kind of wanted them to pick the Rumble because I think it's really good into these sort of immobile compositions where you can force an engage without necessarily hard engage from an incredibly long range, but they're more scared of the Song of Fire and Ice that Yampy and ZZK could potentially weave if they left that Rumble open. The Gnar ban as well coming through. I respect that. I think INTZ, the biggest thing they need to fear right now are flank champions.
Yeah, I mean, Pain Gaming, they have been kind of the standard as far as team fighting is concerned. Rel back in the jungle with that Nautilus pick.
Okay.
Although Yampy might tell you differently. He might say Nautilus is viable in the jungle, and I don't even hate that. But technically still a flex there, but I think, yeah, Pro Delta will be on the Nautilus. The camera goes to him. I think that's for a reason. But yeah, I mean, these excuse me, these poke compositions, yeah, they don't really like that Rumble. Karaoke not going to be on. Oh man, why are we doing the Cassante with your back against the wall? Milio on the board here. I mean, you've got enough tanks here. You need an enchanter. Let's see what kind of support Nia wants to roll with. It will be the Leona. So just very stock standard team fighting composition for INTZ with their back against the wall here.
So that's actually kind of interesting about INTZ, and you can kind of look to do this when you've got a Ziggs as well. Then you can kind of control the zone for the team fight a little bit better as compared to the likes of a Kai'Sa, who has no way of really dealing with the team fight, or a Varus, who still has that Chains of Corruption. The Cassante, though, is such an interesting odd pick to me. As a blind, okay, it's fine. It's worth the world over, and I don't hate the idea of the Cassante here, because the idea is that you remove the flank threat, whether it be Dinketo on the Ahri or whatever Wiser picks up, in this case, the Gwen. But the problem is that it's not going to win against the Gwen eventually. Gwen not only outskills Cassante, but recently, just on this patch actually, got buffed as well, where her Hallowed Mist gives her significantly more resistances, makes her trading even stronger into these bruisers in the 1v1.
We're going to be looking at that top lane. A lot of damage from Pain Gaming here. Like you said, Dinketo and Wiser, they've got plenty of ability to exploit some angles. You see Aoshi there giving his team one last pep talk. And I think what those hands are doing are talking about positioning, right? And how you want to take these fights. You've got poke and a couple of different damage sources from INTZ. Want to be patient with these fights. And I mean, this is interesting here. With their backs against the wall, Pain Gaming, or INTZ rather, drafting something that is still tougher to execute, but you've got room for error with the rest of the composition. A lot of beefy guys and gals here. As the Pin Gaming fans saying, yeah, this is going to be a sleeper. We're going to run over this 3-0. They're certainly feeling confident.
I don't know, maybe it's just me, like, as a Pain fan, the further ahead Pain get, the more concerned I get with how
like
they
you
play
said,
things
the one player that has been reverse swept in CBLOL playoffs is Dinketo. It has literally only happened once, and it was Dinketo when he was on Loud.
By Pain, no less.
Yep.
So I'm hoping that kind of cancels out now that he's on Pain. It won't happen to him again. This draft, though, I do like it, and I'm not going to talk as much about composition. We've already addressed that. I want to talk about hands for a little bit because last game, Pain threw hands. And this game as well, their comp that they've drafted is going to be a lot about the hand checks, about the individual mechanics from Pain. If they can perform better, they win. And INTZ opted to go into this as well with the likes of the Cassandre. So it comes down to, I feel like, the most CBLOL of ways to play the game, which is just who is better.
Who has got the hands? Ninja Kiwi opting for that first strike. Nosferos going with the phase rush yet again, and Dinketo going with the electrocute. I love to see the Ari played how it is meant to be played. And I think even more significantly, we'll see how the build kind of bears itself out as EZK. He's got to be a little careful here. Waiting for ProDelta to throw the hook out. Didn't respect the hitbox. He's going to get rooted down, and there's the flash. All right, got that out of ZZK. And that makes what is probably, like we said, it's probably going to be a difficult lane for him. A little bit more difficult.
Yeah, and I was actually curious if Pain would continue to opt into this invade. Burning that flash there doesn't necessarily increase your chance at combat. And I'm looking at the champions Pain have. They're not the strongest early game champions. You've got great CC for a single pick. But if it does go to a 5v5, I'm going to take that Leona every time. Not to mention Chase with double skills as well because of just the way he can change form. So I'm glad that Pain aren't getting overly hyphy. They've kind of just gone back towards a safe start, and they just got vision. So both teams will know roughly where the junglers will start.
Yeah, deep vision on both sides. You see it on the kind of western and eastern quadrants of the jungle, if you will. A lot of single target damage. It's the first Gwen for Weiser this split. He's played it in the past, but even that did kind of surprise me because he's messed around with a few other picks here. Yeah, a lot of single target kind of lockdown damage here, right? Weiser has the true damage on the snip. Dinketo gonna be on this Ari. It's the first time we are seeing it in this series. He's a champion that he's very comfortable on. It might be the one champion that makes, that doesn't make certain of our casters want to vomit. Or the one guy that can play it like it is meant to be played.
It's funny too because when you said it's the first time, I was gonna be like, wait, what? Sorry.
No.
This series, great qualifier, and it's funny because we talk about ZZK's Olaf. He got to play it 8 times in the regular season, and 75% win rate. Hold up, Nia.
Oh my goodness, the ignite I don't
enough?
think will be enough. My goodness. Yeah, as Leona, you take that Q level 1. You don't have that crazy early value from resistances. Oh, Ninja Kiwi stepping up a little too much here. Gets the W to get ProDelta off of him. But with a couple more autos, B-Boy might have been able to take that down. Lane Kingdom right now so far for Pain Gaming. And they are not done just yet. Karaoke has made his presence known in the mid lane. ProDelta almost put Ninja Kiwi in the dirt 3 minutes in.
Those flashes are not equal. ProDelta still has Hex Flash, so as a support, you take that trade every single time, much less the fact that it is support for AD carry. The lane kingdom might not be over. Nosfer should be fine. I don't think Karaoke is in range to pull this one off.
Nice return gank and nice little deke there from Nosferos reading that and opting to still go for that with the flash available. Right, not going to blow the flash immediately. You need that. You're not super mobile as the Jace. You don't have kind of a get out of jail free card. Yampy seeing Weiser walk away. He says, you know what? Okay, they see that I'm here. They know that they've got a ward there. You don't need a sweeper to tell where if they know you're there or not.
And it feels like this is the confident thing that we were talking about. When Karaoke is being actively proactive, it's good. When your lanes are fueling themselves and pressuring individually, that's really strong as well. Now, bot lane, Ninja Kiwi, despite getting chunked, didn't actually back. In fact, B-Boy went for the cheater recoil instead. So, B-Boy going to be a little bit behind the CS despite how that sort of play happened. And now, Ninja Kiwi does base, also has teleport. That's something we'll have to keep in mind throughout this game as well. The fact that INTZ will have more macro pressure with triple teleports and the Hextech, the Mega Inferno Bomb, to be able to clear sideways as well.
Yeah, and that's what Ziggs has always been so good at when he's been in metas past, right? We see you play him in the bot lane, in the mid lane. You usually play him in the bottom lane where you give the rest of your draft a little more flexibility, you know, go AP in the jungle, AD in the mid lane, but you almost always see him with that teleport because it is that macro pressure that you're playing the Ziggs for, really. That's what he wins on the margins on compared to other champions. And of course, with the satchel charge, he can... Oh, Nia pulling the trigger immediately on the Zenith Blade. Pro Delta opting away from that one. Yampy was on the board. Not going to continue his journey. Good vision so far placed by Paid Gaming, right? Yampy has had 2 ganks negated by just some cleverly placed wards.
Yeah, the information that they're putting down and getting from Pain is massive. I want to highlight also that the fact that because Nia pulls the trigger that early, I don't think INTZ is going to know that there's any sort of ward. So we might see Yampy end up wasting time with a potential repeat gank. Remember, we were talking a lot about range last game. Hold on, is Nia?
Hang on just a second. Nia has the Ignite on him. I think he is worse for wear. In
Not
this
again!
one, there's no chance. Oh! The Flash Auto will take care of the rest of that first blood over to Pain Gaming yet again.
Yeah, B-Void not going to hold that flash. The kill is worth more. It is first blood. But let's go back to talking about the range for real. Because last game it was an issue not having... You're not going to let me do this, are they?
No, they are not, RMC, because EZK is going all out. Wiser has no needlework, increased resistances. Gosh darned, not enough damage. ZZK almost takes Wiser to the grave. Both flashes burned on the top side as well.
Yeah, and for ZZK, that's still fine. You push that in. Both of the top laners already used TP, so you will be able to get a bit of a denial going on for these minions. Okay, are we clear now? 4-4. I see no possible action. They're resetting. Rel, short range engage. That is precisely what we're seeing right now. Karaoke can't find a gank without a flash. And it's not like INTZ have great vision of Karaoke coming in. They're seeing him at the last moment. He just can't actually get that. Incredibly immobile considering you're riding a horse.
Amen, brother. Yeah, when the horse is made of metal, things get a little bit trickier for sure. Yeah, Karaoke, yeah, it's about that, you know, like you said, it's the picks, right? And it's that single target damage, getting those engages off. But that's usually why you take the Hex Flash, and I think Karaoke has taken that. I didn't get a great look at the runes the first time they came up, but I can imagine he took that. We've seen the Rel grab that pretty much kind of all the time, regardless of whether she's played in the jungle or the support role. First Dragon over to Pain Gaming with the kill. Able to get themselves a nice little reset, come back with a little bit more effective power, and grab themselves Drake #1.
ITC was aware of that. The ward that got cleared gave just enough vision. Karaoke starting up the Drake immediately, basically showing them that. But so what if INTZ know? What can they find off of this? It's create. There's no Herald to try and cross map, and in the top lane, Wiser is playing this role, we say, with the needlework up now. I think ZZK punished right before Wiser actually hit 6. With needlework, Gwen becomes a lot harder to gank because she slows you down and just waltzes.
Nosferus gets a nice little power shock blast onto Dinketo. He's got Merc Treads and a Tear. He is nowhere near
Is coming.
the full power. Short range engage, showing up. Dinketo, once that charm is back up off cooldown, maybe he tries something. Nope, he will just salvage his kill. Oh, just kidding. Yampy actually got the final tick of that with the jungle pet. That makes jungling so easy these days, apparently. I resent that. Certainty. ZZK going all out with the Intofo strikes. Wiser is trying to get one more snip. True damage, doesn't care about your kit. 2-0. Paid Gaming ahead, but now Karaoke. Oh, baby. He's in trouble. I'm not locked in here with you. You're locked in here with me. Karaoke is in trouble. He will go down. Zenith Blade sets up the kill for Nosferus.
There's a new challenger approach. Pro Delta coming up with Dinketo, but Wiser a little bit low. They might not want to do this. And Wiser, your flash is down. Why are you stepping up?
Yeah, that's that was a decision was made up there, and the Hallowed Mist will not save him. The Zenith Blade goes wide. Yampy will pick up the kill. Yeah, that's unfortunate. They got a 2-for-0 advantage, and then kills-wise, Pain just threw it away.
Yeah, apparently somebody changed Gwen's out while I wasn't watching. Gwen just goes all in regardless right now to match Cassante.
Yeah, nice.
And unfortunately for Fame, there's nothing they can get on the other side because they actually committed for that top lane. They sent equal numbers and then misplayed, not to mention into a Ziggs as well. Diving Ziggs can be very, very dicey because of how quickly he can clear waves. So as I say that, Dinketo was shading bot side. They were thinking, but there you go. 1 Mega Inferno Bomb and dives get not that easy to pull.
Yeah, a lot harder. And you've got some anti-dive tools with the satchel charge as well, throwing that on yourself, creating distance. And in these early levels, one extra tower shot will be the difference. Yampy able to grab the Eye of the Herald. Nosferos misses the shock blast, and the Arcticus, or the Glacial Prison, able to not find its mark as well. Karaoke gets away with murder, but he does not get the Eye of the Herald. At the end of the day, that is all that Yampy really wanted. They can crash this wave on the top side. They're looking for something here, RMC. I smell some blood in the water. Top side of the map, and Weiser does too. He says, no thank you, not gonna make the same mistake twice.
Blood in the water, rubble on the ground. They rotate Ninja Kiwi for the satchel charge, and it's gonna be just that easy. Quick first brick, pardon me, for INTZ there. Meanwhile, B-Boy, no satchel charge, slowly just chipping away at this bot lane turret. It's such slow going for him.
RMC, it's deja vu all over again. It feels like 3 games in a row. We've had first blood for B-Boy, first tower for INTZ,
True.
and in response, B-Boy just gets a bunch of turret play gold.
Yep, and for Pain, you know, they're in their comfort zone. They don't care.
Yeah.
All these advantages that have happened so far, the big question is where are they and how well will they leverage into the mid game? Because for Ziggs as well, he needs some time to scale up to really do a lot of the damage. His base numbers for a mage are actually not that great, and as we've seen before from Jace's, the one item power spike is about as strong as you're going to get till the mirror mana completes, and that takes a lot of time. So Pain, they're playing more for the mid game. Weiser's already winning. Dinkedo soon will be, and B-Boy's early gold is going to accelerate the rate of this game.
He's the first one to a full item other than Yampy. Got himself an Abyssal Mask. Going with that early on. Yeah, really just empowering Ninja Kiwi, I guess. Maybe not what I would have gone with for a first item, but actually, well, now to be fair, you do get the magic resist. You've got 2 hefty magic damage sources on the other side. Okay, I've changed my tune.
Yeah, I like it. I think even Shroud or Abyssal both do kind of similar things in terms of setting up for a lot of these early ganks. And I think Abyssal Mask gives you a little bit more safety and tactics. So
Yep.
the idea is sound. ZZK might not be though. Oh, it's not going to save you against this much damage. Can he clear the wave fast enough?
I mean, with Nia's help, with a bundle of CC that Leona provides, maybe you can ward off this dive, and I think indeed that's kind of what Pain Gaming are thinking. See how long the wave takes to get there. It's not going to be enough. They're wasting a lot of time. 2023 here. Yampy might be next on the menu, though. Karaoke lands the Shattering Strike, and that will be it.
I love the fact we've got 2 mounted junglers going at each other. It almost looks like they're going to tilt when they're charging at each
they're
other.
like jousting at each other, yeah.
Yeah, literally with the lance in one hand, flail in the other. But this is not actual jousting because nobody's going to get seriously hurt. They're 2 fat tanks running at each other. If I don't see a damage threat nearby to follow up, they're just going to poke each other and say hi. The damage threat should be rotating soon, though, as Dragon is coming up in 10 seconds. And Dinkedo picking up Everfrost. That is a bit of an item power spike, but ZZK has the Frozen Fist, or Iceborne Gauntlet working.
Yeah, that's going to feel really good on him. He's ahead of Weiser as far as the effective power is concerned, but his opponent in the lane is on equal power with him. On half an item is Nosferos and Weiser. Teleports are unleashed here. ZZK popped his just now. Pain Gaming have first purchase on this dragon. ZZK maybe looking for a flank. Oh, that's a deep TP from Weiser.
No.
Opting into a 5v4. Can they pull the trigger, get the numbers down? Stolen by Yampy is the dragon. Can Weiser get there on time? The charm lands, a lot of damage. B-Boy free firing, but he gets the pullback. Chews right through Nia for a kill for the 80 carry. Now Sparrow's responding in kind. Weiser gets the needlework down, and that will be enough. Skipping, slashing, snipping to a Pain Gaming ace.
Oh, Ninja Kiwi just barely gets out with his life. Dinkedo not quite able to get the Spirit Rush there. But what a trade deal, am I right? If you're a Pain fan, you take those 100% of the time. You get Dragon, we get everything except for Ninja Kiwi, and the gold swing for Pain is actually kind of underwhelming. Never mind. I thought they would have a gold lead. They have 100 gold lead for it. That is not significant. And this was just a choice. If Pain could get Dragon, great. They say we burger flip this. We don't care. And this time Yampy wins out. But that was never the goal from the get-go. And really good fancy footwork from B-Boy as well. I don't know, Hawk, your grandmother might be Masters, but B-Boy right now, that was at least, come on, Grandmaster or Challenger 2.
What a great fight by Pain Gaming. They knew that the Weiser was on the TP flank. They knew that they had no idea where he was going to be. Playing that fight backwards, like you said, saying, all right, cool, we can concede this space because it will keep them sucked in for long enough. Karaoke goes in with the Magnet Storm. Dinketo gets the Everfrost down onto frickin' everybody. And then Weiser comes in, B-Boy free firing, and Weiser doing his thing. It's exactly how you want it to go. But like you said, RMC, the gold's even. 6 kills to 3 short. It was not an ace despite my emphatic call. Ninja Kiwi did get out unscathed, but now he's on a mythic item. Right now you're starting to see, okay, INTZ, can they take these fights on more even terms? We talked about that last time around, and I think a lot of the conditions, if you will, and how INTZ want to fight still apply here. You've got, it's poke and then really easy team fighting. You've got incredibly beefy boys, and again, dead even in the turret played gold. These early games have played out kind of how we thought, in exactly the same way across all 3 games.
I'm kind of confused where the gold lead, or where the gold lead isn't coming from for Pain. Like, if the turrets are so even, the kills favor Pain, the CS numbers aren't that disparate. Like, I'm just not sure where this gold is coming from for INTZ. And it matters because where's the gold distributed? For Pain, it's on Weiser, it's on B-Boy, it's on their carries. Yampy stealing yet. Is that the 3rd time he's stolen something from Karaoke? Come on, Karaoke, step up.
Yeah, it's up there. If not.
Because it was Raptors, Dragon, and now a red buff. Herald's coming up. Is he going to be able to make it a 4th Pain? I think they're looking for kills again on this Herald.
Who's stealing it from who? Now, Sferis has got his Dust Blade, taking a little bit out of Dinketo with that Empowered Shock Blast. The damage charts are on the bottom of your screen, and that means it's fighting time. Karaoke going in. The charm lands. He has the Magnet Storm, waiting for the perfect time to use it. There it is. Pro Delta being a body blocker. INTZ not able to get ZZK the fight. He gets one, but it's just the support on the other side of things. Weiser taken very low, but dealing enough damage. Ninja Kiwi can stay free, but Dinketo will find him eventually. Doesn't land the charm. The fight is going Pain Gaming's way. Nia really can't do much. He has to flash out of the pit. That feels really, really rough. Herald's still alive. Ninja Kiwi can still lay down the damage and be annoying. That Ludens hits hard. B-Boy, nice little pullback on the feathers, and he almost killed Nosferus for it. Nia will be the sacrificial lamb. That could have been 2 for 0 if not for his sacrifice. But Pain Gaming walk away victors once again in the fight.
Could we get some 07s or Fs in chats for Nia? Because Nia just saved his team. Like, Nia knew that was a one-way trip. I go in, I do not come back out. But let's look at the fight and how it starts first. Because I want to highlight ZZK. And the ZZK gets smoked. But he's the tankiest member. And he saves this fight. Because he's able to buy so much time. Because he's able to get away. Dinketo and B-Boy, 2 of the big damage dealers, weren't at the main fight. And while Weiser still managed to answer, it wasn't quite enough. Nosferus getting over the wall, buys all the space, and once Jason Ziggs gets space, that's when they're dangerous. It's props to Pain for being able to find Nosferus again, but giving them the initial space was what made this even close to start off.
Pain Gaming getting ever so slightly ahead here, little by little. This is how they are beating INTZ. Against other teams, the strategy might be a little different, but INTZ, they've been counterpunching. The series is 2-0, and it's on its way, very premature, again, to a 3-0, as Weiser might have caught Nia out here. Yampy showing up, just pops a Scryer's Bloom and says, get away from my support. Otherwise, there will be hell to pay. But Pain, this is how they're doing it. It's death by 1,000 cuts against INTZ.
Yeah, and it's not the way Pain want to do this. Pain would happily just do one big swing and decapitate INTZ. It's because INTZ has been playing this so well that Pain have to resort to small leads, to the 1,000 cuts that you're talking about. And with 1,000 cuts, there's always a chance for a comeback. We literally saw that last game where Pain swung everything on a single Baron into an Elder, into a base fight. And now, part of the 1,000 cuts, Nosferus chipping away at this turret. Ninja Kiwi coming up here, so this could be a very quick inner turret if Weiser can't clear fast enough.
And I think it will be. I think Weiser can do his best, but he's happy to have his team respond with the Dragon, trading a tier 2 for that second Dragon, a Mountain Soul. Going to help out with, again, no true tank. I mean, Karaoke, he's going to, I guess he's with the Even Shroud. He's going to be about as tanky as it gets. It's just about overpowering you with just disrespectful amounts of damage for Pain Gaming.
Okay.
Pain! Right into the tower. B-Boy's gonna eat the Mega Inferno Bomb. But Pain Gaming coming out ahead in that one. They get a tower and a dragon in exchange for just the 1 tower.
Yeah, so they're able to answer back, which is critical. The problem is they did that with a Herald. That's not going to be an option. That was the last Herald of this game. Meanwhile, Nosferus and Ninja Kiwi are just rushing these turrets. So there's always the risk of a base race. Nosferus, he doesn't know. He's lacking critical information.
He has no idea. Yeah, the amount of information he has, the amount of idea that he has is the same as the number of titles that I have. It's a big fat 0, but he has bought enough time.
The turnaround?
Double TP, Glacial Prison doesn't land. Karaoke trying to lock up Nosferos, but now B-Boy, he's just scampering. He has nowhere to go. He is alcove gaming in the worst possible way. Shut down for Ninja Kiwi. Pro Delta has shown up here. Much more even fight, but Ninja Kiwi running right through him, exploding on everybody. Buffers the Q does Pro Delta. Nia gets the ult down, but for naught. Dinkedo answering on the tower. Nosferos not hitting quite as hard as he'd like, but Ninja Kiwi maybe get the tower down to execute range 20%. Thank you very much.
And here's the swing 4x4. We just saw the gold grab. It's been going back and forth, and it is back in INTZ's favor. B-Boy burning the Featherstorm really early to try and get the kill. That massively came back and bit him. Well, we get the replay, so we get to actually watch how that goes. Now, Nostros plays that well, and because he gets in bush, he forces the flash out of Karaoke. And then right there, B-Boy burnt too much. When they didn't have vision on where INTZ were, they didn't know where most of INTZ was. And we said before, watch out for the teleport, watch out for the macro plays. You don't get to do these sort of plays without Pain, without the rest of your team nearby.
Yeah, a bit of a misstep there from Pain Gaming, getting a little overconfident. INTZ have retaken the gold lead. They're up a tower as well. But gold effectively still dead even, but crucially, you talked about Ninja Kiwi and Nosferos, what they're able to do in the other lanes, and now being just turbo-enabled by their jungle, whether they get Abyssal Mask or even Shroud first. Well, guess what? He's got both of them now, and they are going to hurt. They're going to rain damage, and just, yeah, raise hell in the micro and the macro front. Great job by INTZ recognizing, pull the trigger with a double TP immediately knowing that they have that advantage. There's that Muramana damage with the Dusk Blade. Nosferos is in his happy place right now. Once he gets that Cyrilda, forget about it.
And now it's on Pain to figure out ways to engage into this Jace. We've seen Jace poke be incredibly effective, and that's not even including Ninja Kiwi, of course, sitting on 2 items, didn't have that same power drop that Jace did on the 1 item power spike. Dinkedo looking for the flank, but really, Pain don't have the numbers yet. Weiser's not here, and there's not a good ward to TP on.
Yeah, able to dodge the Everfrost. The Charm comes down, fighting and fight on 2 fronts. Pro Delta is in trouble. He will go down. Nosferos able to get into melee range and stun him. B-Boy has to insta-cleanse the Solar Flare, and that will be all she wrote. Pro Delta goes down, and Weiser happy to just keep on pushing to the bottom lane.
And why? Or is my question. Just why is Pain looking for that fight outside turret range? I understand the initial hook to play into turret, but Weiser wasn't there, and Weiser had no intention of showing up for that fight. Dinkedo back to lane with that TP, and INTZ, I thought they had a window to Baron, but they didn't go for it. And keep in mind, while all this is happening, Weiser had no intention of moving. He has not moved. He is still in that bot lane, pushing.
Yeah, I feel like this second iteration of this was kind of what they wanted to do in the first one, right? Just kind of keep INTZ busy, saying, no, look over here. And Weiser just gets immense prio. They're in that bottom lane, making this 4th dragon a lot easier to take.
Now, it's easy to take, but there is a cost on the other side of the map for it. That is, of course, the risk that, Nosferos could just run up there. And we said this before, INTZ don't necessarily have to engage into these sort of fights. They can opt to just cross map and try and base race. They will be faster than Pain when it comes to taking structures. And if they want to do that, this is the last Drake they can do it for. Because it will be Soul Point and it will be Mountain Drake. And Mountain Soul against the poke team is the 2nd worst dragon you could play into, worst being Ocean Soul. So INTZ, if you want to do this, then you need to really pick up the pace. If you want to fight this, well, that's when it gets fun. Because I don't know if Pain is actually just going to outplay, outhands, outgold INTZ in the straight 5v5 right now.
Ninja Kiwi not quite at the death cap yet. Nosferos is about as strong as he will be. Ninja Kiwi feeling pretty good himself. Scuttle Crab and Dragon are on the menu. Happy to surrender this one for now. Again, like you talked about, INTZ happy to surrender this for now. This is the last objective they can really give up. But they take the mid-tier 1, crucially, now can really start to flex their macro muscles if they want to. Get some vision down on the Baron as well.
Oh, I thought we've seen this one before.
Yeah, I was gonna say, man.
Yeah, Pain. They're responding really slowly. Again, it feels like they don't believe INTZ would do it. And granted, you're not a triple AD composition. You only have 1 sustained AD threat in the Jace, so it'd be a lot more difficult for INTZ to take this one. But as we mentioned, INTZ now you don't have the leeway for the next dragon. You will have to fight for the next Drake. And I think part of it was also the item completions that came through. Wiser picking up Nash's Tooth changed the nature of that fight. I was looking at it thinking, oh, INTZ have a small item lead. I think they actually can fight this. But the moment Wiser picked up the Nash's Tooth, you don't want any of that at that point as INTZ, especially when you don't have full vision and you can't guarantee that Wiser doesn't have a flank ward behind you.
Yeah, Wiser feeling really strong here with the Merc Treads as well. Triple Merc Treads, just with the amount of CC that the that all three of the tanks really can provide. And Ninja Kiwi picking up that death cap as well. Force of Nature has been grabbed by ZZK. They know their assignment. This is just very clear, kind of cut and paste textbook itemization from these two teams. Mega Infernal Bomb not going to find its mark, but Pain Gaming know that a fight could be coming as their wards go down. For Delta, running interference, doing a little bodyguard duty. ZZK, is this a flank? Oh no, it's definitely not. He might be in trouble here. Has to go all out. The CC layering is huge. Actually holds on to the all-out TP, like you said, RMC. Pro Delta in some trouble now. Hook not going to land. Wiser's got the flank, and he's got the item. And this is rinse and repeat for Pain Gaming. Karaoke comes crashing down with the Magnet Storm. Glacial Prison not going to find its mark. Nia has to flash away. B-Boy, Killer Instinct, forward. Shad, AD carry play. But hang on a second. Who knows who's playing backwards with who? INTZ Ninja Kiwi laying down the hurt.
I don't know what to think about that fight for. You've got all these teams that want to go forward, but it's not done yet. ZZK finding flank.
He was able to survive, didn't have to contend with a death timer, didn't blow TP, able to lay the CC down onto B-Boy and give the shutdown to Ninja Kiwi. More crucially, RMC INTZ not going quietly into that good night.
Nope, they hit their item power spikes. They went, okay, we're just going to hand check at this moment. And they just went for it. Incredibly well played. And the big chaos of this fight is who's going forward and who's going back. You've got a Xayah who wants to go back. You've got a Ziggs. You've got a Jace who wants to go back. But everybody else wants to go forward. And the beginning of this fight was already very, very messy. There was no poke. It was just go, go, go because ZZK gets picked up. And by the time Wiser gets to the fight, with that 4-second delay, they're already down a man. Karaoke gets an amazing fight. But it's again Nia who's catching my eye. It's again this Leona sacrificing herself, and in this case, not even dying, but stalled out Wiser long enough that they couldn't chain the Magnet Storm and the Needlework together. Wiser did not get maximum damage.
And we've seen this before as well. INTZ going straight for the Baron with the advantage that they got. Karaoke with the sweeper from Wiser on his side. Charmlands from Dinketo. They're going to have to contend with a lot of damage. Playing on the back end of the pit. Dinketo taking a ton of damage. The Mega Inferno Bomb hits like a truck. He's got the TP. Unleashed should he want to come back for this one. INTZ being taken low. They're spreading out. Looks like they might want to play for the fight here, but the Baron ticking lower. INTZ with Nia running some interference here. Pain Gaming goes over the wall. Karaoke has the Magnet Storm. Should he want it? Pops it, and it will not be stolen. B-Boy going to get the kill onto Nia. Yampy going to pick up the Baron, and Wiser takes away ZZK. INTZ opt into this one. Delta with the flash hook secures the shutdown for Dinketo. Pain Gaming come out on top and leave just two members wearing purple for INTZ.
This game is just on repeat right now for we see again objective traded for kills, and Yampy has just been winning the smite fights. It's now 4 straight objectives, or not straight, but 4 different things he's stolen away from Karaoke. And granted, Karaoke didn't have the best setup to actually get in there to be able to take that. They've got vision, but they have to be aware of Nia on the side trying to interrupt things, and it just comes up to a straight 50-50. Yampy wins that. And then Pain, you know, sure, you get some kills. Notably, they take out the carries. So Nosferus does go down. Actually, Ninja Kiwi does survive, so not all the carries. So it will delay the Baron push, and taking ZZK out specifically means that INTZ with the Baron can't opt for the 4-1 split push that we've seen be the most effective way of using this Baron.
It was neutralized in that fight. Wiser said, yeah, I mean, it's kind of what ZZK is supposed to do, right? Eliminate Wiser's flank. And Wiser said, all right, look, Yampy has been taken so low, right? The extent of that kind of Baron, not even a fight, just taking the Baron, it took its toll on Yampy. And he had nothing left to play with except just his CC, which he had blown earlier. Now INTZ have first purchase onto this Dragon. It's Soul Point, like we were talking about earlier. This one you gotta fight for. Dinketo looking for a flank. You can Spirit Rush over the wall. It's Nosferus and Dinketo doing the same thing they've been doing all game. Charm doesn't land, but the Spirit Bomb able to get a couple here. The Dragon is not the objective here. Karaoke gets locked up.
Gets Sigil down.
Sigil down. Not going to be available. Shock Blast gets B-Boy for a lot of damage. ZZK hopping into the fight. Karaoke in. Nia trying to lay down some CC. They've got the fight split up. Pain Gaming able to just ignore Nia, take him out. ZZK is down. Not going to be available for this one. Pro Delta gets the kill. Pain Gaming little by little taking these fights. Nikito decides he's not done just yet. He will be able to find him. The stopwatch is just delaying inevitable. Hang on a second. Nosferus playing Hero Ball. Gets Ginketo, but will pay for it with his life. Maybe. This is 2 tanks, but that health bar is very, very low, so you can't damage through CC. Pain Gaming mop up what this time is actually an ace, and the Mountain Soul to boot.
That wasn't jousting for that was a knight running down a peasant. You know, I shouldn't call Nosferus as president, but a blacksmith, let's say. And I want to give credit to Nosferus. Again, Nia, amazing, stalled out B-Void, but Nosferus. When we say BRJs, I want y'all to think of Nosferus, because right now he is playing this immaculately. When this fight goes on, look at Nosferus. He's putting down the poke on the back, and he knows his job, and it is just to chunk out the carries. The chaos in the pit is a distraction, and when the engage actually comes through, it does land on Nosferus, but he immediately runs out as quick as he can out the Magnet Storm. And it's him creating that space, knowing the ranges, unlike Ninja Q, who stepped up a little bit too close. That's why he's able to even find anything on the back end of it. Is it enough? No, it's not. Pain still won that. Pain still got the critical Mountain Soul.
One more of 1,000 cuts come through here for Pain Gaming. That extra little shielding, like he said, that Mountain Soul is just brutal to play into for a poke composition. But they are getting stronger and stronger. Cyrilda's was already there for Nosferus. Now he's got himself a stopwatch. Darkseal had its number of stacks slashed. He's got that Blighted Jewel, does Ninja Kiwi. He's going to try to chew through those resistances, and it'll certainly help. But the advantages that those items are creating are not nearly as big. Karaoke playing the as I think it's Rudude or Hawk put it on the desk. He played the Maokai game that he had to in game 1. This is kind of that with the Rel, right? You go Even Shroud, Warmogs, and the Redemption. It is not about you. But Karaoke has been playing this very well. Aside from that one flub kind of in top lane where, like you said, Nia was just being a body blocker and didn't allow them to get that little wombo that they want, the Magnet Storm into the needlework. Aside from that, Karaoke has been setting up these fights very, very well, and the rest of the team has been on the same page as him.
And to a certain extent, I feel like this is the best meta for Karaoke, right? These sort of utility junglers where the game isn't about you. Karaoke is an incredibly selfless player, and the fact that he's picking up a Redemption here, to me, just plays into that. The Warmogs is going to be massive as well, because not only do they have small... I wish I was in that crowd forever. I really wish I was in there.
Look at the two halves of this crowd. That is night and day. Can you tell who the depressed fan base is?
It's the pain patches we're going to throw, right? That's how that works?
You don't have to put up those walls, RMC. Let them down. It's okay.
I have too much PTSD. You're right. This isn't loud. We're fine. But going back to Karaoke Warmog point, because now not only do you have Mountain Soul, but you also have Warmog. So now Karaoke's job is to actually soak up all this. Both Nosferus and Ninja Kiwi are going to struggle to be able to get relevance. And the silver lining in the cloud for INTZ is that all the objectives now take a long time to go down. It's not like Dragon, where it gets blitzed down immediately. Baron will melt, but it will still take time, and it will still do damage. It will still apply debuffs. Elder will take time, and that's where I'm looking for INTZ to turn this, is around those objectives. Play patient, play poke. Don't let Pain into the area best you can.
Okay, ramming around the mid lane. The Baron will be up in 15 seconds. Karaoke maybe looking for something here. We've seen B-Boy and Karaoke just kind of walk forward and take a nice little pullback after a Featherstorm to use the CC. Weiser doing his thing on the bottom side of the map. Teleport advantage is in INTZ's favor, with Ninja Kiwi running it as well. They will start up the Baron. ZZK going to be a little bit late to this. Just kidding. He has that unleashed teleport, and he will drop it. The Baron is indeed melting. RMC.
Okay.
Can they keep the carries low? Pro Delta taking a lot of damage. They will get the Baron, but what about the fight? Weiser taking very, very low. Ginketo and B-Boy laying down the damage. Nosferus and Nia and Ninja Kiwi, are alive. Karaoke is a monster. They can't get through to him. He's keeping B-Boy safe. Nosferus goes forward. Double stopwatch. Who's going to come out of this alive? ZZK coming in hot, and he will allow B-Boy to go right to the gray screen. 3 for 3. The tanks survive. Ginketo and Ninja Kiwi as well.
You know what? That's props to INTZ. If you can answer equal when you're a pole comp, you You played that better. And the stopwatches, the perfect timing to come through from both B-Boy and Nosferus, just barely enough to take B-Boy. Problem is, Baron buff still makes the difference. Ninja Kiwi going to try and clear this, but the resistances that Baron gives my kind is just really, really hard to wave clear through. Other thing to keep in mind for I4, stopwatch items. Stopwatch picked up for Wiser and Dinkedo. B-Boy burnt his. Does not have the GA just yet. The replay on this fight, it's actually kind of simple. INTZ knew they needed to engage, and they did so. As soon as they were in place, they went. Pain actually played really well on keeping who's on Baron versus who team fights, and that's what makes a team fight close. Because B-Boy wasn't there in the beginning. Karaoke wasn't there in the beginning tanking either. Pro Delta and Wiser had to kind of tank everything by the time just on time. No stopwatches.
And ZZK did his darndest there, was able to finally get onto B-Boy, but you saw how long that took. Pause has been called. It's been chaotic. All these team fights are giving me a run for my money. As a play-by-play here, I do not envy Trajan and Axe. They're off today. They had to cast that 5-game clanger of a series between Fluxu and Vivocade Stars yesterday. And this series, for the 3 games, has been just as action-packed, though. Probably some sort of bug, stopwatch this or that. Let's see exactly what happens here when we come back from this one. But you talked about it. Yeah, I think it might be Dinkedo Dinkedo and Wiser. They've got their concerned faces on, eyebrows knitted just a little bit. But RMC, zooming out a little bit, you talked about it. INTZ came out ahead in that fight, right? If you can run that when you're kind of on the back foot, right? You said you don't want to let Pain Gaming get to the spot first.
Yeah.
And they weren't even able to kind of get all that poke down. Run me through again kind of what happened in that fight and whether you think that is, I guess maybe more critically, whether you think that's sustainable for INTZ.
So that's precisely why the fight turned out the way it did. If INTZ could get there first, I don't think it's so easy for Pain to take it, and we're right back into it. Didn't miss a beat. But also at the same time, that's why it was such a win for INTZ to be able to win that fight, or walk away even numbers when they didn't get any poke down, when they had to blitz into it blind. Is that sustainable? No, not even remotely close. But at the same time, Pain have to be careful with objectives and how they opt to start out these fights as well. Because if you're starting out a fight like that in a choke point, like we're seeing for Elder Drake right now, because it is a mountain map, you can get poked to Oblivion and beyond. And you saw how long it took for them to get these objectives. Oh, I like this from INTZ. There's 5 seconds left on that Elder. Ninja Q can just flat out take that turret and keep pushing.
He's going to rush those structures down. They send Dinkedo back to answer. Wiser still looking for a flank. You don't get that passive on inhibitors, just on turrets. Now he's going to TP back. Dinkedo saying, all right, fine. He sees that Ziggs is gone. We're going to come right back to the fight here. Wiser was looking for an angle, but he's joined the fray in the pick. Pro Delta lands the hook there. He's that initial tank. Nia zoning out Wiser. Pro Delta getting the CC down. Karaoke going forward with the Magnet Storm. B-Boy is in there, but he gets CC down. Featherstorm pop, has to go backwards. There goes the GA3 with the pullback for B-Boy. You keep this man safe, he will carry you games. It was close until it was nothing remotely close. 5-0. Ace Pain Gaming might have sewn this one shut.
That did not look sustainable to me, 4x4. That is what happens when Pain finally gets the engage here. Looking for, once again, INTZ not able to get in position to get the poke down. It was minimal poke. And you know what? I respect the call. I thought they made the right choice by going into that mid lane. But Pain, they just feels like they're team fight comp at an actual team fight location with the skilling they had. It's just that easy. Pain, 3-0 INTZ. Let's go!
3-0 Pain Gaming take down INTZ. 3 very close games. It's a close